flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning to you, too.
Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes, or to the agenda? Any changes?
Move we approve. Second.
Motion and second to approve the agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Minutes, 1/19/2015. Any additions or corrections here?
Move to approve. I'll second.
Motion and second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Anybody in the audience, any public concerns not on the agenda? Would like to say anything? If not, we'll move along, and I see Mr. Humboldt here for Veterans Affairs Director report. Front and center, Dean. Sir. You got a hot chair there.
Don't give him that old friend, yeah. Went right to his head, didn't it? Hey, when you start, Dean, I see where you're gonna be an affiliate of ISAC.
Affiliate of ISAC?
And the Veterans Affairs group has been working to become an affiliate of ISAC, so we will be discussing that at our March school. We approved it at the last ISAC board meeting, so in March we will have the resolution, so...
There'll just be another meeting for you to attend. Sounds that way.
Very proud to have your affiliate on with ISAC.
You bet.
Okay, just kind of go over the budget. I realize our budget's not the biggest budget in the world, but I think it's just kind of important for you guys to see what we do spend with the veterans. You want to?
Believe you? I'll share with you.
I'll share. Our quarterly, the second quarter, we had a budget of $17,207. We had expenditures of $17,500, which is okay. I mean, it's considerably better than the first quarter. The first quarter we were quite high, as you can see from the chart. Budget year-to-date, $34,416, expenditures, $38,000, so we're still over budget by 10%. Those areas that are contributing to that budget exceeding the budget, for county purposes, electric power that we give aid to some veterans. We had budgeted last year at this time, for this period of time, $1,000, and we've actually spent around $2,500. Utilities, we budgeted $1,000, and we're actually, have only spent around $900, so we're doing okay there now. Food vouchers, we had budgeted $750. We spent over $1,000, almost $1,050. And the largest one is the rental assistance. We had the quarterly budget, $3,750. We've spent around $5,340. So,
Was most of that because we picked up some additional rental, or was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of it's additional rental.
So I figured, okay.
And for the next budget year, which I just submitted to Peggy last week, I'm going to increase that by at least $4,000, I think I said on there. So that should bring it into more perspective of what really is happening. I guess the area, the next thing I'll just quickly talk about, you know, if there was 3 areas I wish I had more experience on, doing this job for the veterans would be to be an employment specialist, a counselor, or a psychologist. Because those areas, you talk to veterans every day, and those are the areas that, you know, that you really could detect that they need additional help on, whether it's, employment. I've been working with a couple of veterans right now, trying to find jobs. And those that are hurting, and you wish you could be a psychologist and you could talk to them more than wait for them to go down to the VA and then do strictly counseling. But I'm not an expert on any of those, but, so we do the best we can.
How long does it take them to get into a counselor if they...
Well, right now, I'll get into that in a second here. There's a real push right now because of everything that has happened last year to improve the service. And what they're doing is, if you can get in, within that 30 days. And in some cases, I had an example where the vet couldn't get in for 45 days, so I just kept calling back until there was a slot open, and he got in within 2 weeks.
Oh, that's good.
But, the areas, well, the VA has done a lot, and all the veterans right now, they're getting a special card in the mail, and that card is it's a health choice card, what it is, and the vet can submit to his local provider if he's within 40 miles or outside of 40 miles of a VA clinic, and he needs to see a doctor. All he has to do is call the VA, and they're on this special card that the veterans are getting. There's a number on the back. You call it, you get the permission to use Dr. DeVork, for example. And if they approve it, then you go see him, and then you submit your
Paperwork
through that. And that's part of this whole process that started earlier in the year with the poor service that the VA...
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so that's, right now, that's a 3-year program they're working on trying to improve.
I got a question.
Employment. Have you ever worked with workforce development?
I've started to, yes.
They have a lot of programs other than just unemployment.
Yeah.
You good contact.
Yeah, I have. I've started working with this guy, yeah.
Good.
And I was wondering if Alyssa Reinhold has been in contact with you.
Yes.
Oh, she has, good, because they got some programs for vets coming into town.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
part of
good.
that. I'm part of that.
Basically.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Do they go to Berry Hill, or does the VA have their own counselors? Or do they tie in with Fort Dodge?
Well, the VA has their own counselors,
And they come out of Des Moines up here?
Well, the counselors themselves, there's a couple counselors down at the VA in Fort Dodge, yeah. You go down to Fort Dodge, there's actually 2 facilities down there, right, pretty close to each other, and one's for mental health and one's for everything else. And they do, from my understanding, they do a real good job of working with the...
They're just busy.
They're just busy, yeah. And the other thing is, with that card, if you can't get in within 30 days too, that's the other thing. If you're, beyond 40 days from a VA center, or you can't get an appointment, within that 30 days, all you gotta do is use that card, and then that will
Immediate service.
give you a heck of a lot better service. The new secretary, is Robert McDonald, and he's vowed to make a lot of changes to the system, and he's already started making some positive changes. They've already made new appointments for 102 million appointments in the past 4 months, which is twice as many as they made in that previous 4 months. So they've really have started making some great success stories. The VA has scheduled over the past 4 months over 19 million appointments. So there's, you know, with all the veterans that are out there, which is 9 million plus, it's a pretty busy place. The wait time right now for new patients, for primary care, the wait time is down like 18% from what it used to be, and the, getting in within that 30 days is up to 98%. So they've made some great strides there. From my office, you know, right now, I've got around 25 to 30 pending claims with the VA right now, and that's anything from, trying to get a veteran into the healthcare system, which only takes about 3 weeks for them to you submit the application, and within at least 3 weeks, 4 weeks tops, they'll know if they're in the healthcare system. Other claims that I've been working on is, you know, the healthcare, the widow's pension, the CHAMP VA, which is if a veteran is 100%, has 100% disability, then the family can get into what's called CHAMP VA, which is, and gives the family also services that they wouldn't normally have into the healthcare system. And pensions are the other areas that, so between healthcare, widow's pension, the CHAMP VA, the pension for the veteran, those are probably the primary ones that are pretty redundant on monthly trying to support the veterans with. And the other thing, the Secretary McDonald, I guess he was on 60 Minutes here a while back, he committed to adding another 28,000 medical professionals into the VA system over the next couple of years. His goal is to make the VA a leader in the medical profession. So I feel pretty confident, pretty happy for that change that's taken place with him coming on board. And you can, you know, from our level, you can start seeing there's a better response time than there was even 11 months ago when I started. So things are looking pretty good.
Dan, a couple months ago, we had a report from Humboldt talking about helping out with heating assistance, electrical bills. You guys communicate back and forth, do you have some of the same clients when it comes to paying heating bills, utilities, those kind of things?
Now, what's your...
Humboldt has some...
Upper Des Moines.
Upper Des Moines.
Do I communicate with them? No, I don't, no.
There might be some of the same clients, possibly.
But I'm not sure if the funding can overlap though, Carl.
That's what I wondered.
I don't think it can.
Apply both places?
I don't think they can.
No, they can't
That would be the
overlap, I don't
problem.
think.
That's probably why he's not communicating, because they have their own program for that, yeah. That's kind of a big no-no.
And Leno watches it real close.
Yeah, oh, they do too.
Yeah, they watch that real close.
So how long, you've been on the job about a year now, haven't you?
Just about.
You're settled in, you know, all the ropes?
Doing all the ropes? No, there's 4 or 5 out there I don't know yet.
Any other questions for Dean?
Sounds like they're doing great improvements.
That's good to hear.
I think, yeah, nationally, I think we're doing great, so.
Thanks, Steve.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. We need a motion to accept and place on file his annual quarterly report.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Second by Harlan. Those in favor of the quarterly veterans affairs report, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Looks like Janet Birdie must be front and center. Excuse me.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Make a whole motion to accept. Janet, how are
Hi,
you?
we're good. I'm here on behalf of the pool, and I want to thank you for the past support you've given us. This year, capped the year, wasn't a great year. Spring was very cold, very wet, so attendance was real down. But we did employ 14 people this year, young people, most of them are from the county or from the Livermore area. except one did come from Algonah. Other than that, what I'm asking is you to continue to give us the $1,600. We do not plan any improvements. We only plan on maintaining the pool for as long as it's viable. And our budgets are tight, just like your budget's getting tighter. So I understand.
Jim, like most pools, I understand there's not a pool in State of Iowa that makes money.
Now, I heard the pool and water move, the one makes money, but we have more to offer than
Some you
the
gotta
pool.
have, but they cost them.
Yeah.
Jan, how much does the city have to put towards this? They support you pretty well too, don't they? I mean, the city.
The city?
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
our budget is $29,000 this year.
29,000, yeah.
The revenue coming in was down. We usually bring in around 5,000, but we brought in more like 42. Just because we didn't sell concessions, we didn't have the people because of
It was.
the weather. The weather was so cool. And that's when kids really want to go swimming in June. In July, they get busy with fairs and everything else and life and vacations.
Then when school starts, you lose all your lifeguards and have to close down too.
Yes, we do.
That's what the ones out there.
Nothing against morning, but let's go a lot early and
Yeah.
that's life.
This is just for insurance? Is that what,
The insurance on it is more than that.
yeah, but I was thinking that's what we were,
It's just more, for maintenance.
Just maintenance.
And to keep the pool open, basically, to help us.
okay.
Well,
We did have somebody come in from Laverne, which is wonderful, those chairs that are required, that you have to have.
Oh, those lift chairs?
We have one person who comes from Laverne and uses our lift chair, so we were excited, because we thought that'd go forever and never have to be
Somebody
used.
does use it.
Somebody does use it, they come from Laverne, probably about weekly.
And since you have one and it's quieter, they probably enjoy using the pool.
Yeah, they don't have as many people at their bottom, when
That's
they use
good.
it.
Well, that's a
So,
good thing.
but it was close for them.
Thanks, Janet,
We
for the
will put that
request.
in our pocket.
We'll consider it.
It was budget time. Thank you
Okay,
very much.
thank you.
She always comes with a smile,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she only wants $1,600. Dennis Guttenhauer will report from the grand jury. Dennis?
It's gonna be all good, right, Janet? Yeah,
Time.
I think it went open again, something slipped.
Yeah.
You can leave that open. You can leave that open, Dan. Yeah, leave it open. It's open to the public.
Yeah, if we shut the door, then I'm gonna put it
One more today anyway.
These are for the press, if you pass those two over, and then I made copies, I can put
Okay,
in case, so
yes.
you can look at them while you're talking about it.
The grand jury met on January 12th, and part of our duties was to go through the courthouse and the LEC, which we did, and you'll find all of the things that we felt need attention listed on here. I guess the main thing for the courthouse is that the entire building needs more security, such as cameras and more locked doors. I don't believe there's an intruder alert plan put in place, which would help greatly. And many panic buttons that needed to be situated in different places. And for the LEC, the main problem there is space, which I understand you're working on for them, so. Now, we did talk to Judge Stobie in regards to security. He did mention that there was a county in Iowa, which I believe was Greene County, that had acquired some grant funds in order to do some improvements. I don't know if anything like that has been looked into or available out there.
I'd like to get a hold of Cody, see if he can,
Okay.
or Greene County, one of the two, and see what they got.
Seems like that's a big statewide or nationwide push right now, some of the things that we're really facing on the camera security.
Security, yep.
I think we're one of the few judicial districts that had to have a law enforcement plate, sheriff, or law enforcement plate on board. Not all counties are doing that, I don't believe.
They did mention that they do come up when there are trials up here.
All we can do is keep working on the list, it sounds to me like. Thanks for the...
Okay.
Pretty lengthy list.
Some of these Dave, of course, can work on.
I think,
It's
you know,
easy ones to-
Some of them were very minor,
it's
but...
long, but
yeah.
there's several that are minor that
Oh,
would
yeah.
be...
Court issues.
Right.
And then you're not aware of it until they bring it up.
Right, so that's good.
Yeah, doing your job.
Right.
You know, maybe give this list to Dave and then see which ones he can do and check them off and then have him give this list back to us so we know which ones he addressed. Because, you know, this goes, it kind of becomes ongoing and gets set aside, but if he'd go through this and just check off the ones that he was, and if he has questions on ones he can't do, maybe we need to get help to get a couple, three of these done that we can do.
Sure.
Okay.
We just felt as members of the grand jury that we wanted to, present it in person to you, so that...
Do that, that's very good. That's the
I
best
thought it would be
idea.
nice if you guys made a motion to accept and place on file, if you do quarterly reports on that, it would be...
Okay, I'll second.
Motion by Jerry, you had a motion?
Harlan.
Harlan did, second by Jerry, to accept and place on file the district report.
One of these things with law enforcement center will be taken care of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's nice to bring aware to our attention though, so.
I think Jerry's got a good idea that we're gonna do something with it.
I'd like to have a checklist back from Dave, and he can let us know what he could do or couldn't do, yeah.
All those for the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried, thank you, Janice. Okay, we gotta move along here and move in drainage, it looks to me like.
You're 10 minutes early, we can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
9 o'clock.
You're going too fast.
You're whipping through it pretty quick.
And we're dying.
Keep that on, claims,
You wanna do claims?
New claims.
and good claims.
Okay, I reviewed claims, and this past 2 weeks, we have claims of $74,735.07. We also have drainage of $195,322.78. I would approve those. Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve claims as stated. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Why don't we do committee reports? I'll run down and get,
Okay.
see if Diane...
Yeah, sure. Okay, committee reports, Peggy, let's see, where are we? Wednesday, the 21st, Rick, myself, and Harlan, and, Carl, we went to Stone Lake at 8 o'clock for the drainage district meeting that they had over the 3 counties that are facing a possible lawsuit, and, Bill Northey was there, and he kind of went over a lot of the positive things that we're doing, that the farmers are doing, and agriculture is doing, kind of put a different twist on it in my mind, and our attorney from Iowa Drainage District Association was there, and he spoke a little bit about what could happen if this thing gets drug out, so I'll leave it at that in case the other guys want to add to it. And then on Thursday, I had Board of Health in the morning at 7 a.m. out here at the hospital. And, let's see, what was the good stuff? I guess the main thing was, we got introduced to Michelle, Slater, she's the new CEO, and she was at our meeting. And, our sanitary report from David Stahl, he's been working in Harding diligently to solve an issue with 2 houses that were sold within, after the changes on the, septic tank updates. And I think what he's worked out is the 2 parties, well, actually, one party owns both houses. I think what he's gonna allow them to do is put in a leach field for both of them, large enough to handle both of them, because they have enough area between the 2 to handle it. But he was getting a little flack from their off, over in Pocahontas, thought he was spending too much time on it, but I thought, I can't imagine it was that much time spent. And she was worrying how to bill with mileage and the time spent on this individual issue, but that's part of the sanitarian, I thought, and I assume we're paying our fair share, which Peggy would refresh me, it's pretty fair amount, isn't it?
Yeah, and they bill us for everything.
Well, I couldn't understand what that was all about, but it didn't seem quite legit, because we pay our half share of his job, so. If there's any concerns or calls, let me know, and we'll have a talk together about that with
I mean, if
them.
they're not fully billing for what he's doing, they need to do that.
They need to bill that, yeah. So I told Dave that, and that's what he was gonna respond back, so. Went through the clinic data and the funding's fairly steady. And, you know, it's tightening up in some areas, but they can move some funds around, so at this point of the year, things are looking good there. And then, I had CFR executive meeting at 5 and regular meeting at 6 on Thursday night also. We went through a lot of the procedure manual, and operation manuals. We made this many reviewed revisions, which most of them were minor, but the executive committee got the privilege of running through most of that. And then during our regular meeting, Carl would like to hear this, Sally Carnes, that's worked, was one of the three we brought on when we made the changes. We moved her up a little bit in position as kind of under Michelle, because she's really handling a lot more stuff. So between Pam and her and Michelle, we're doing rather well. We still have over $1,200,000 revenue.
No difference, minus 800,000.
Yeah, it's a big difference. So, those few changes has made a big difference in the way we're operating, and their goal is to set part of that money aside for a building, a new building or an expansion down in Fort Dodge. So, the auditor's recommendation was to set some of that money aside so that when you start doing fundraising stuff, you can show that your commitment's there too. And we can do that because we only owe $300,000 in building debt right now. So other than that, we'll have...
Should have retired fairly soon, then, won't you?
Yeah, we could retire that. We might even try to, we're thinking about doing it during the year, so as long as the funds...
You talking about expanding on where you're at, or?
Well, they'd like to expand or build a new location, but it's so hard to get zoning. I think,
Mercy's Hospital.
yeah, to get away from that, we'll find, we can go out there by, what is that, bird seed plant,
Oh, yeah.
We've got a building just north of there, and there is some farm ground that maybe could be
That'd be available.
looked at. So we're gonna look into that a little bit. I think the expansion there would be the best, so we don't have to build all new, and then just build for what our needs are at the time, so. And that's all I had.
Yeah, pretty lengthy.
Yeah, well,
I went over to Storm Lake with, the other gentleman here, and that was rather interesting. It sounds like if they do go through with the lawsuit, it's gonna be extremely lengthy.
yeah, I didn't wanna bring that up.
Yeah, extremely lengthy.
6
And
to 10
they said,
years.
his comment was, the only ones that are gonna benefit out of this is lawyers. They're gonna get extremely...
Make a lot of money.
Make a lot of money, 'cause it's gonna be an extremely lengthy lawsuit. And then, that same day, I did go up to the northeast part of the county and took a little tour of some roads that we had some issues with, and, checked that out, so that's about it for me.
Let's see, we're January 23rd at DCAT in Webster City. The main thing, we had got a contract for $94,000 for mental health in schools, and the lady came back to us and wanted to hire more help. And just give you a rundown of some of the Clarion High School had 16, Clarion Middle School had 11, and Clarion Grade School had 12. Eagle Grove Grade School had 9, Eagle Grove Middle School had 6, Eagle Grove High School had 1, Bode School had 3, Blairsburg School had 1, Jewel School had 13, Humboldt Middle School had 4, Webster City Grade School 9, Webster City Middle School 8, and Stratford School at 4. And so it keeps her running. She can't hardly keep up, so she needs to hire a little bit more help on it. See, they gave $3,000 out to help the Hopes request. I guess they had some budget cuts in their first round, so we okayed $3,000 more to finish out the year for them. But, I guess that was probably about all I had.
I just had the Wednesday meeting at Beebe County. I thought it was a good meeting, a lot of participation by local farmers and stuff. I was sitting by Doug Strike, our drainage attorney. He says the thing that they don't realize is those farmers in those drainage districts are the ones whose next, they can sue the county, the board of trustees or the supervisors, but it's the farmers out there that are, if this thing goes on, are gonna pay the bill, and I don't really realize if everybody knows that. So, I hope it doesn't go anyplace if they throw the thing out, 'cause it's really, this could really be a fiasco. Have to see how it plays out. They are meeting, I think, this Tuesday, I think, with, the county attorneys from these three counties, Doug Streit from IDDA and so forth, to try to come up with a unified strategy of where they're gonna go and work with this thing, so it'll be interesting to watch and see what happens. So,
Same thing, Carlin. I too attended that same meeting with, in Stone Lake on Range. It appears to me that I came away with there, that they haven't filed the lawsuit yet.
Nope.
Thinking about doing it. And the word from the Secretary of Agriculture was that we need to put forth our best foot. Maybe we'll get...
Ahead of time, right.
Ahead of time, we'll get that thing dropped. It's gonna be statewide, or nationwide, if they have to, if they pull it off. So, then in the afternoon, I think Jerry and I took a little ride with the county engineer and went through some roads out here that are being torn up by the power companies. On Thursday, 8 o'clock in the morning, Dan and I had a wellness meeting over here at the school, trying to still work on this addition, trying to get something kicked off to get a wellness center added on to the West River. And we've talked to the architects and we're making progress, but it's kind of a slow process. Then in the afternoon, I met in Fort Dodge with a housing development group. Cliff from Midas gave a report on everything that Midas does, not only in housing, but just kind of an interesting report. We set up another meeting, we're gonna talk about some more lead-based paint funds that are available to help some of the people that have lead-based paint in their houses. That was Thursday. On Friday, we had a daycare meeting, and we're working on that daycare, you know, we had a report here, and we hit a little snag there. The fire marshal has come in, they ruled out doing that in the church.
I was afraid of that.
Too many...
Really?
Stairs, it's a big issue. Windows gotta be changed.
It cost more than it would to start over. So we're back to ground zero, really.
Fire marshals ruin a lot of things.
So that was Mike's report.
so do they have any other site that they're looking at, or?
Put it in the basement of our fire marshal said.
They need it right now.
Oh, but you have...
Yeah, isn't there a facility, any building in town?
We couldn't find anything, we kicked around.
Really?
You think so, but you're changing.
So it's kind of a, you got your head right now.
So many of those
Okay.
facilities are available.
Ready to go in drainage, it's 9 o'clock.
You know, they need up
Have a motion to go in drainage.
So moved.
Second. Motion by Moore, second by Harlan, to go in drainage. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. All right. Change the guard.
You bet.
No, that's really a problem. I don't know what we're gonna do.
Something for the letters.
Fire marshals on that.
I still think parts of that old middle school should be usable.
We talked about that.
I know.
Yeah.
I think it needs to be pushed harder.
Well, I thought the superintendent, Molly, thought that it wasn't adequate enough space for the money that would need to be spent there. So, you know, we throw away a lot of money, you know, just on a short-term basis, so I don't,
Yeah.
that was the drawback there, from the way I understood it.
Same thing to church.
I mean, the location's so nice there, that's what I like about it.
Very
Welcome back, Rick.
Morning.
Thank you.
Good to be back, yes.
Somebody big enough?
All right.
Yeah.
Item this morning is to, have a little business in one place, like, keep it up to date on what's going on there, Rick.
Yes, you're all aware, pricing issues and things from the original bid, that we did set a rebid date. That day is today. I'm gonna give you some bid tabs. This shows our updated, cost estimate on it. And, the big difference this time is we separated the materials from the installation. Hoping for more bids. Did you bring the bids?
No.
Okay.
Can't think of everything.
My bad.
So, there's places on there to enter things, but I'm gonna give you also sheets that just, where you can put the name of the contractor and the total. Hoping that you were gonna be filling more of these spots, but if I saw what I thought I saw, there's still just 3 installation bids, for the project.
Are they bidding on the 1 inch also?
Yes, bidding 1 inch and a half inch. Now, I'm giving you a lot of sheets, and I'll pause when we start reading them, so you can be on the right sheet, but again, with the number of bids we have, you may be able to just use those first ones I gave you if you want. Your call there, so. People out here want to keep track of bids or wait till the tab, okay? Oops.
Hammer down.
As I was saying, we separated the materials out, otherwise we're requiring the installer to bond for the materials. In this project, that's a very big item.
You want to take that from work, that way, you mean?
We ended up not. Yeah. So, I'm assuming that the depth is part of the issue. I don't know otherwise, so, what did you get? Okay, yeah.
No, I just wanted to look at the names.
Okay. So we have a bid from H&W
Yes.
Contracting, from Holland Contracting, and Denver Underground. Those are all 3 installations. And then we have, Cretex and Hancock, concrete for materials, so, time has passed for closing accepting bids. I would propose, I guess, to go ahead and start opening. Okay, this will be for the materials. Yeah. Materials first, so, which, if you wanna look at the heading on your sheets, this will be for materials. And you can either use the one with all the lines or whatever, that's the simplest one for now. Good security has been provided.
Which one you opening?
I'm opening Cretex, sorry.
Cretex?
Cretex, I'm opening.
There's gonna be 2 different deals.
Yep, there'll be one for,
No, one's, yeah.
there'll be a half inch for Cretex, and that's what I'll read first. And there'll be a 1 inch for Cretex. The half inch for Cretex, $847,974.50. 847,974.50. The total on the 1 inch, $1,296,910.85. 1,296,910.85. This is Hancock Concrete Products.
What's the name?
Hancock Concrete Products. Bid security has been provided. the right one here. Got extra information in here. Having trouble finding our totals there. Looking at the 1 inch, I don't see a price. Okay, the total on the half inch for Hancock, $957,172.59. 957,172.59. Be sure I didn't miss something on this.
Maybe they didn't bid.
Well, that's what I'm seeing, I don't, yeah, there's the place for the total, and it's not there.
I'll look it over, Rick, while you...
Okay.
something else.
So, those are the two material bids. Jerry's gonna be sure to mention the thing.
Didn't put a figure in for the 1 inch?
For the 1 inch, apparently.
It's not in here.
Okay. Okay, now we're gonna go to the installation bids. This one is from H&W Contracting out of Sioux Falls. Bid security's been provided. Total for installation from H&W, half inch is $919,456.40. 919,456.40. Total on the 1 inch coefficient, $1,075,398.85. 1,075,398.85. Next one will be from Holland Contracting, Fort City. Security's been provided. Can't get this one out of practice. Holland did not provide a bid for the half inch. Bid for the 1 inch coefficient by Holland, $1,287,105 even. 1,287,105.
I don't know why one of them didn't bid one and one didn't bid.
I don't know. I mean, this one is from Denver Underground. Bid security's been provided. Total for Denver on the half inch, $907,090. 907,090. Total on the 1 inch, $1,126,900 $55 even. 126,955.00.
Denver Underground, is that where?
Denver, Iowa.
Denver,
Yep. Okay, so they are the 30th down there on the half inch. Seven, okay.
No.
No, that's not true.
No.
Oh, okay. Okay, now here, you still have a question on half inch versus 1 inch and which one to build. You've got some feedback from several property owners, I understand. It'd be perfectly appropriate to delay award until you can analyze those and maybe hear from some that you haven't heard from yet. Now, whether you want to send out an informal letter and get people here in a week or two to talk about it some more, is your call.
You had much feedback?
But Brad, there was...
We did earlier
Okay.
have input, however, I don't know, I think it's fair that considering the bids may be different than initially to have,
Take a week.
informal as well. And I can get that out right today.
What's your desire? What do you think we ought to do here, people?
Send that letter out, and put in what the costs are after these new bids. Rick knows what they are, you can give an average cost, that'll give him a week to think about it, maybe meet in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We've got 30 days.
Yes.
I think we'll probably approve something, I just think we need time to make sure we do it right.
Yeah, that's right, it is.
Make sure Mike's comfortable with everything, so.
Yep, yep. That'd be appropriate, I mean...
Gives Trish time to
Get it
send
out
letters
soon.
out this week,
Yeah.
and maybe in 2 weeks meet,
Mhm.
make sure we know where we're at.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Accept and place them on file and schedule a meeting for 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, you don't really need to even take a motion, it'd just be that you'd wait to the award, I mean, that's,
And accept it then,
yeah. Mhm.
we've received them, so.
Mhm, yep, correct, so, and I'll check the math on them, of course.
Well, I think it'll help if you figure what the cost difference is gonna be.
Yes.
They're gonna wanna know that, we don't know that today.
That's right, that's right, we can base it on the grant money
Get that in
available.
a letter, then they can think about it and call Trish if they have questions.
Mhm.
9th of February, right?
That's 2 weeks, is it? Yep.
Yeah.
9 o'clock?
How are we gonna be for attendance that day? Who's missing on the night? Just Rick? Are you missing on the night, Rick?
Yes, I'm missing on the night.
So we'll just have 4 of us here,
Okay,
Will all be here?
All but me.
all of Rick.
okay, that,
Is that okay?
Yeah.
We need to set a time,
Sure.
Oh, sure.
9 a.m.
9 o'clock?
Yeah.
9 o'clock on the 9th. We'll do a situation again.
you're awarding the contract, yep,
To the bid, consider awarding a contract.
yep.
Any other discussion?
How much did we knock it off?
That's a good question.
I haven't done it
These are
to see.
original bids for...
Yeah, those was what I've got here.
Over,
Over 2, wasn't it?
That's what I was thinking.
I was, in my mind, I thought it was over 2 million.
Yeah.
You remember, Mike?
There? On top of the filing cabinet and white binder? It should be written in the front.
The half-inch bid tab was 1.88, about rounded up to 1.9 million.
1.9. Quite a bit cheaper. Few hundred thousand.
Anything else you want to discuss on this item, Rick?
Oh,
And this bid was giving them a little longer working period?
Yes,
too?
yeah, it gave basically the whole construction season this year.
Come down.
Yeah, that'd be as big a factor as anything.
And the price of fuel's coming down.
Yes, that
That didn't hurt anything.
that definitely helps. I mean, think of the diesel fuel that we used on this job.
Anything else to discuss on drainage this morning? Anything else on it going?
I'm dropping off, DD 114, the reclassification, I've met with commissioners and we just had to add the laterals in, and we've done that now. So I'll be leaving those with Trish and calling the commissioners to get their signature. Probably what we'll do is get that on the agenda for the 9th also, so that you can set a date for the hearing on that.
What's that, 114?
Yes. And I wanna talk to Trish about dollars we're gonna look at on that, because there's been a levy, and not sure how that's gonna work with the reclass, I guess, 'cause most of it's, who's levied pretty much pays the bills, right? But that's what the railroad's walked on?
The railroad hasn't paid any of theirs,
Okay. So we may need some legal advice on how to proceed with that reclassification hearing and what to spread for cost. If you wanna backtrack, it'd mean refunding some payments, 'cause I assume several have paid, right?
I don't know if I'd have to refund them, as in just figure the difference
Well, that's true.
of,
See what the difference is
Yeah.
first. Might be
I might
dollars
be able to
left
do
in
that.
there,
Yeah. Yep.
See how much they are first.
So in fact, we just took on 125, do we need to send letters out and invite people in, or how we gonna?
I
Yeah,
will.
that's what she's gonna do.
Okay.
Along those lines, Rick, when you get your information looked over and their cost per acre on the half an inch, could you get us something maybe by next week so
Yes.
that the board could look at
Yes,
along that? And then also include what the original bid was low, just so we can compare it, just so we
Yes.
have all the information.
Yes,
Thanks.
you bet.
If we have that next week, that'll give us a week to look at it too.
That's a great
If we
idea.
get questions, then we can at least know what we're looking at.
Not a problem at all. That'd be good for you to have that, so. We'll get a bid tab probably done today, I would say, so.
Okay, can we get the information out as far as the landowners for, so they have a chance to kind of look at it, instead of banging, you know?
That's what she's gonna do with this letter.
Okay.
She's gonna send out a letter that's gonna state what the low bids were, what the half-inch coefficient and what the inch coefficient is. And maybe Rick will have something there, what the average cost per acre
Yeah.
cost, the difference would be. And then that gives you time to look it up before this meeting, so you know.
Yeah.
If you just get it the day before, that doesn't cut it.
Oh, it's just, yeah.
And this way, if we send a letter out to everybody, we can't, nobody can say that they didn't have an opportunity. At least send a letter back or circle something, or, you know, maybe even have them circle. You know, when you put that out, have a choice. If you can't attend the meeting, please circle which one you favor. Let's get some input. You know, we always get the input, the ones that are here, but I get concerned about the ones that never show up.
Majority usually doesn't come in and...
But if they leave circle it,
Yes.
even if we have to send a return envelope to them, so they
And
get it
every
sent
cost,
back.
one size doesn't fit all, that'd just be a general.
Yeah,
And then if they have questions, they can come to that meeting.
yes, yes.
It's a good idea,
Good point.
Jerry.
It's a real good idea.
Right.
Excellent idea.
Who's this gonna, what is your engineering cost that's gonna be on top of this?
I think it's good.
Well, we've got it in that,
$1,755,000 bid now, half inch.
we've got that in the preliminary engineering report as far as our estimates.
You know, just send it back.
And those are usually pretty close. We try and be under that, but it doesn't always work out that way. I can do a total project cost estimate is what I'll do now that we have.
That should be below the 2 million, right?
Well, we're at 16, is that where we're at, 17 something now?
1,755,000.
I would think so. Rick's good, but is he worth that much?
Well, and that's,
But I mean,
it's
just to have that on there, so
Yeah.
everybody knows what that
Yes,
cost is.
yeah.
so.
That's what I should do with it as far as an estimate is
Put all that in there.
put it all in there, yeah.
So there's no hidden...
Yeah, I guess well, that's just the cost share applied to your engineering
Yes,
fees also?
yes, yes, it is. Mhm.
All right.
Only thing that doesn't apply in this Thorn to Paul Jacobson is road crossings.
Yeah, I don't quite understand that.
Just how it was established and...
Oh, we're a county, we got money.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything, yeah, the crop damage, easements, yeah, all that stuff, so that helps immensely.
Now, if offhand, were these three the same three that did the last
I
time?
think so.
And I appreciate the fact they came back, 'cause it'd be
I
real
do
easy
too.
for one of them to not even put a bid in, so...
Oh, yeah, I
I think
appreciate
we
that
should
a lot.
let,
I
we
will
should be aware,
I
let
will
them know
express
that, yeah.
I will, yes.
Because this did get drug out a
Yeah.
lot farther than it needed.
Well, and the one contractor I called after the last one that said, we had more time, we're not afraid of a deep job, didn't bid. What do you do?
Yeah, I mean,
They
you're
might
gonna-
have picked up something else up.
That's right,
That's
that's
true.
probably what happened, you know? We thought this was early enough, I mean, it's still January for crying out loud, but maybe not.
Oh, we're giving them till start anytime and completion when, next fall?
Yes, Pipe in the ground, I think I have November 1st and all work by December 1st,
Okay.
so we let them go pretty late.
Make it work.
Yeah, just a point of interest.
As long as the weather's good.
Yeah, exactly. I did hear from...
That's a big variable.
Yes, oh, huge,
Look at much
huge.
trouble we had out here this year
Yes.
with the weather.
Yeah.
Leave this weather for January.
Oh, I know. This job out here, TD6 lateral A1, I did get a call from Cretex, they're owed money on pipe. Based on Cretex information, it's more than the retainage, but we do have a bond. I don't look for there to be a problem when it all comes down to the end.
Okay.
They're a good company.
Yeah, they're reputable, they got some backing, it's just, yeah, we'll get to the bottom of it. I guess they talked to Trish, or the contractor did?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the story there is that they're giving a big discount, but they haven't done that yet on their billings. So, that'll get it a lot closer to the retainage covering it, within about 15,000, so.
Okay.
But we do have the bond, so we're covered.
All right.
Anybody else got questions for Rick before we depart from here? Thanks, Rick.
You bet, thank you.
Welcome back.
Yeah, thanks, it's good. It was driving me crazy not getting out.
Throw away your
Oh,
credits.
yes, after about 8 or 9 days, done deal. He said, it doesn't hurt to walk on it. I'm walking on it, by gosh.
Is that a complete replacement?
Yep. It's 4 weeks tomorrow, and it's just amazing what the last 3 or 4 days have done to make it better, so.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep. Just gonna mention one thing, talking to Jerry the other day, you guys did get to that Bill Northey presentation. I went to the one Tuesday in Rockwell City. I went on my own, I thought, this could affect
Give me that.
all drainage districts.
Maybe you think you want to take it, right?
I heard
Oh, yes.
a lot bigger crowds there. We only had, what, 90 people or so?
Yeah, 90 to 100.
But that room was full, and then...
Yeah, I
Well, I mean, they're
thought, wow,
standing in the back.
I mean, we were only one county, so the other two counties could have been double.
Thank you.
They had one.
They had
Oh, they individuals
They had
too?
separate meetings.
Oh, they did? Oh, I thought that was a joint one, I'm
I
sorry.
swear Rockwell City was over 200.
So
I mean, it was a
People
big...
of the meetings from the other counties.
Now, that could be too.
I'll bet so,
That's
because...
probably what happened.
I hardly I mean, we've done a 2 or 3 fairly good-sized jobs in Calhoun County, and I think I saw one landowner I knew.
So maybe that was it, people from other
Yeah.
counties.
We had the two county people at the DD meeting, so they just went all over.
And I don't know if you guys got instructions, but the Calhoun County drainage attorney told his supervisors, do not open your mouth. I thought that was real.
He doesn't know me, we both opened our mouths. Yeah, we did.
Well, I thought it was a great meeting.
I don't think we said anything controversial.
We tried to drag it back, Rick, but they was...
Yeah, I went to, no, I mean, really,
Well,
I was doing a lot,
They are.
especially the last
I
2
think
years.
that's gonna be our approach, to try and get out the positive we're doing. If you try to defend the negative, you're gonna fight
It's
tooth and
just
nail,
an
but if you try to tell them, we are doing things, these things are happening, we
Yes.
are getting done.
Yes.
We gotta keep talking ourselves that way, what the good things we're doing.
Needs to be a story in the Des Moines Register
I
about
think
the
the key
programs that are
that
working.
Bill Murphy pointed out that scared me the most, and it gets back to this thing, if it runs 6 to 10 years to do something like this. Not only that, then everybody that's involved all the way down the river is gonna start having lawsuits on the next guy, because he's sending, just like Des Moines, they're putting it back in. So
Yeah.
are they just as guilty as anybody else?
They take it out, put it right
So
back in.
if that's true, the lawyers will just have a heyday. on this. So somebody better
absolutely.
step up and figure out how to handle this before it gets
That's
out of
right,
hand.
that's exactly
So
right.
once it goes that far, everybody's gonna lose.
And why, one of the articles I read, I thought it was Des Moines Sunday, maybe the week before, they were talking about, they didn't start it up again until December 4th. How much ag runoff was there December 4th? Nothing, was there? I mean, might have been a few tiles working, but...
Sure, we better.
You're an old chemistry engineer, why can the Des Moines Water Works take those impurities out of the water, nitrates, dump them back in and go down the river? Why don't you capture that and sell it for fertilizer? Is there some reason they can't do that?
It's not in form that they can use readily, and it costs. I mean, it costs to get it in that shape.
Back in the water.
Well, that's, yeah, I mean, how crazy does that seem?
Yeah.
At our meeting, the meeting I went to, one of the landowners had figured out that it cost, to do the treatment they're talking about, that was $7,000 a day, cost the average Des Moines resident 1.2 cents a day.
That's what I wanted to know, what's the breakdown?
1.2 cents a day.
And that's only when they have to run it.
Exactly. Yeah, so it's, yeah.
It's frustrating to me. It's frustrating.
Versus what they're spending per acre for cover crops.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And the programs are great, the cover crops and the no-till, ridge-till,
I kinda think they
bioreactors.
should, invest that money in, finding a cheaper way to remove the nitrates.
Really?
Yeah.
Or putting in prep, places for them in the city where they could dump the nitrates.
Dump it.
Rather than put it back.
We need to
Yeah.
advance seed technology so it can make some of its own nitrogen.
Yeah, oh, I'm sure there's people working on all this.
The sooner the better.
We're gonna see a lot of change in the next 10 years.
That's why some of this would go away without having a 6 to 10 year lawsuit. That's just, it doesn't make sense.
Right, craziness.
We better keep moving.
Yeah, sorry.
We get-
Oh, yeah, we gotta be done.
Yeah. What's that?
Maybe the fact that it's complicated, so we'll get everybody involved.
That might be true.
Okay, we need a motion to go out of
So moved.
I'll second.
Gary, second by Rick, Green, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried.
I don't know.
What are you looking for over there?
Thanks, Rick.
You're
Where the,
We gotta get-
This lawsuit, what,
We gotta get
what
a paper.
section is it?
What the best?
Wow, it's kind of a hot seat though, when you're...
That's one. Everybody's getting out loud.
Like you said, Jerry.
I gotta get the big map, I don't know my townships that well.
Register really likes the stir.
Well, I know it. They're looking for all the negative. Let's get out the good stuff too along with that. I think you'll see it'll neutralize some of the negative talk. Yeah.
It's Avery, it is Avery.
It's it'd be in section 17 and 18.
We're not the Des Moines Register either, we don't like it.
What?
Avery. Oh, yeah, there's a river there.
There it is, okay.
I will.
It's right here on this curve.
We were just talking about putting those
Oh,
down
here.
there.
Oh, good.
Painting on today.
Okay, I'll look that over. Mark, this is yours. Sorry.
For this tile to dump into and to catch the runoff from this field. This field really slopes down in through there.
So it goes, then it's got a...
There's a big ravine that runs down, runs down to the river.
We're gonna drain the swamp and then you
Drainage, okay, well, that might take a while.
Mhm.
Do you have copies of these, but if they ask you questions, okay, I'll give you the original. Okay, thanks, Peggy.
See, this is south of Red Gate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we have Diane here from the recorder's office to give us some updates on the recorder reports, semi-annual reports. Diane? All yours.
Well, you guys have copies. Linda came in and we did these first ones together, so, it was a pretty simple first month report for me. Have any questions?
What's the biggest source of income you have in Humboldt?
Well, the transfer tax would go right, payment to the county on that semi-annual report, but,
Both sides?
see the recording on the mortgage.
Documentary stamps, probably.
Anybody got any questions for Diane, or Diane, you got any questions for us?
No, I don't, but I am coming here today to recommend that we move Mary Beth Olson up from clerk.
Okay, before we do that, you should probably accept.
Yeah, we gotta do this.
We better go on this other first. We need a motion to accept and place on file the recorder report and also the semi-annual report.
So move.
Second.
Motion and second to accept, place on file the recorder's quarterly and semi-annual report. Other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion
Now I can say why. The other reason I'm coming here today is, I would like to recommend we move Mary Beth Olson up from clerk to deputy recorder. The code allows me to have 2 deputies. I feel she's more than deserving for this advancement. She's been in the office since 2001. Mary Beth provides great technical assistance in all areas of our office. She has great attention to details. Does anybody have any questions for me about her?
She'll be your chief deputy then?
No, she would be the second
Second
deputy, yeah.
So everybody will be a deputy.
In my office, like the recorder's office, we wouldn't have any.
You might wanna let them know what percent you're wanting to put her at.
Okay.
Yeah.
I talked to Peggy and Jana and other recorders, and I needed some input on what was really recommended. The fact that she's been there 14 years, I think she's kind of paid her dues instead of doing this stair-step thing, so I was, gonna put her at what all the deputies are, at 83% right now, my salary.
Sounds logical to me. Anybody have any?
She's at what now?
She's hourly.
Hourly as a clerk and union.
How much difference is that in your budget then?
How much?
Yeah.
I don't know right offhand.
That I guess pay in my
I
budget
don't know right offhand.
to support it, it's a couple thousand more
Okay.
a year.
That's effective as of what date?
Well, it's up to you guys, but I felt like, if the money's there, let's do it for this half of the year before the next.
We don't like to do retroactive, so
No.
it's
Yeah.
effective today, that would,
Okay.
because you get into a whole mess when you try to go back and try to pay, so.
So Diane, would
She's
you,
definitely the most technical, advanced person in our office
Yeah.
right now, and
She
she
would
helps
be.
do the county web page stuff, and,
she's quiet but very effective.
oh, very, very good.
When you talked to the other recorders, what did you learn from them as far as or what, did you learn anything from them? Do most of them have two deputies, or is that what's going on in the state?
I was talking to small groups,
Yeah.
but, yeah,
Okay. In this case, where she's worked 15 years, the difference in pay isn't all that much, it's more of a recognition of title
exactly.
as much as anything, in my opinion, so. I don't see a problem with that. I would make a motion then to approve the certification of a deputy recorder effective today, I guess, January 26th, 2015,
83%.
at 83%. Thanks, Carl.
Okay,
We have a second.
Second.
Second by Moore. Any other discussion?
there's my, okay.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Have you been broken in officially now, right? Get everything figured out?
No, I don't, but I'm working on it.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you.
Diane. You gotta get your name changed here.
We need memos, don't we?
4 years,
Yeah.
And is Paul out there?
Yeah, I've seen him out there.
Wandering around.
We can maybe change the date down below, change the date for public hearing.
2,000, no, $1.50, yeah.
We originally set the date for the public hearing on the law enforcement center for today, but that didn't even give me time to get it in the paper, let people know. So I'm suggesting we change it to February 2nd at 8:45. That way it'll come out in this week's paper as a reminder, so people will see it and can be there if they want to be.
That's perfect.
Makes sense.
So I need a motion to okay that.
You just do that at the start of the meeting, or when do we do that? Do you have to set a time?
Oh, yeah, you don't have a time.
Yep.
8:45, she said.
8:45.
I'll move.
Okay.
Okay, we have motion set public hearing February the 2nd, 8:45 on LEC. All those, any other,
Second?
Who's
second?
second? Oh,
Rick,
Rick.
Rick, any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. All right. All around.
He's coming.
I did check on the resolution for the hot cross, and I sent it to him Monday right after.
So you moved the LEC from today to the second? Okay.
That's what you did.
That's what I...
That's what the airport down.
Let me just see how things are going, but I just...
Yeah, there was a
Oh, that's fine.
conflict with our schedule.
No, no.
We had to
My
do it in the
my schedule's
paper.
pretty flexible, so, I just gonna be here to... listen.
Thank you. Next week.
I can do it.
Wasn't that the 100 comments for sale, like, township?
Paul, I think we're ready for you.
I
Good
didn't
morning.
check out
31, it's gotta be. You know that guy.
As good as possible action.
But that's what we're
trying to figure out where the heck I'm at.
Good. Great.
All right, no, I don't know.
That's come up with me, Doc. You gonna survive?
Maybe. They put Geocell, and that works good, in my knee. With the warming January temperatures last week, Humboldt County roads became vulnerable. As you know, construction on Mid-American MVP 3 transmission line continued as the road stalled, which led to damage there in nearly impassable conditions. This time, most of the damage was 150th Street and Q. Prior to Christmas, and after the wet snows, the damages, were less, on Quebec from the county line 2 miles south, and then, on 130th got tore up pretty nicely, one day, which is our no snow removal road up there. And although the permit with Mid-American Energy says they'll fix any damaged roads, repair in January isn't necessarily possible. Fortunately, last Thursday, temperatures allowed some resurfacing and repair, but future damages may not be as easily fixed until spring or summer. Thus, we've asked EC Source to provide a plan for continued construction without undue road damage. And we have representatives here to discuss part of those plans that we've been working on as through last week and up till this morning. Founded in the plans are defined construction routes to minimize road exposure for them and us, and limitations due to thawing conditions. I have those proposals, copies of those are first blush here to hand out for those to you. Peggy told me Friday that this had to be short, so I'm trying to be organized and get this going. Here's pictures for those that didn't see them. Here is 150th and Q. I don't know if that would be Q on last Thursday. We have been talking to the contractor because we welcome self-regulation from the contractor to ensure that we can have continued use of the roads for both them and for the traveling public. I will, at this point, review these access plans. I hope you guys got copies, because I only made a half a dozen, Jim. But in a nutshell, I've looked.
Yeah, I get mine too, 'cause we were out there.
Very good, you got bigger versions. Any more? Here, I'll give it to the press. My comments on the plans, on their access plans is, it's a good start. I would assume that this applies not only to concrete placement, but also other construction activities. If the road isn't fit, it isn't fit. And with some restraints or rescheduling or something else can happen, but as they provided, Tim Warren with EC Sources has provided full-size drawings of what I gave you on a 8.5 by 11 on designated routes, and we're trying to work with them. We have, as I said, re-rocked 150th from Pine to Q, and Q Avenue, the 2 miles north of C-26, parts of 140th, and then we went across the river and did Port Avenue. They're done pretty well north of Foster Bridge and heading west and south, and Port Avenue was not real shiny last week, and we're watching the weather already. Our coldest temperatures for the next few days were this morning.
Usually you're lucky if you have one day that thaws in January.
No, I know.
This year it's terrible.
And we talked, we had the same kind of discussion right before they left for Christmas. It isn't that we haven't talked about this. We talked about the damages in the soft roads prior to them leaving for their 2-week siesta at Christmas time, and we planned on Iowa being frozen in January.
Yeah.
But at some point, as we keep pushing towards spring, the closer and closer to spring, at some point, it's gonna get worse before it gets better, but at least, when we can see the end, we at least have heat and sunshine somewhere in the spring and early summer, and if we lose the whole bottom, that's what we'll be.
Or even some breezy days would help a lot too, and some of this would dry some of it.
Tim Warren, I said I was gonna try to keep this short, and I'll pass to you to add to anything that you have. This is Tim Warren from Easy Source. You've seen him at several meetings already. He's, most of our, he's the guy that I go to start the process normally, and he's, the construction manager trying to coordinate with us on this stuff.
Basically what we're trying to do is, trying to keep the project moving ahead, trying to limit the exposure to the county. We are responsible, and we will be responsible for the repairs of the road. We've offered Paul to help with the labor and everything else for 15 roads, and that's been, Paul has decided that he wants the labor and everything else to be on their side. We know that the next week will be real tender. We have expressed to the county what roads we're gonna take to use for our concrete trucks, for all of the work that we're doing, so we can limit the amount of roads that get exposure. That way we can keep up with them. If something has to be repaired, it can be repaired right away instead of all the roads. So that's what the maps have expressed there. We know that in the spring, we will also be doing the same thing again, is putting together our plan, what roads that we'll use, and monitor how many vehicles and those kind of things, because in the spring we'll have poles being dropped off and those kind of things. So, we're not here to rape and pillage, we're here to work, complete a project that will be good for the county, it'll be good for, all the people, and, we're here to be responsible and to do our part. So, we're gonna work with you